What is up, and I welcome each and every one of you back to a brand new Civ 6 or Civilization 6 video. Today, as you can know from the title, we are going to be looking at the top 5 civs or leaders in Civilization 6. If any duplicate leaders get on here, I will just specify them accordingly. But yeah, you might be asking, I already made a tier list last month. What am I doing? Well, you know what? Top 5's different from a tier list. Plus, in all honesty, my opinions have changed after playing a few of the other civs. You know, we'll talk about them in the video. Don't want to make any spoilers or anything, but yeah, this is going to be based on all victory types, kind of. You know, if somebody wins a science victory easier than another person wins a domination victory, I'm going to take the science victory one, even though I personally like domination better. But yeah, it's going to be best civs, the most easiest to win with on the higher difficulties, Deity especially, but it really works for any difficulty. But it's simple. Why am I trying to drag this on? Top 5 civs. Without further ado, let's get started with number 5. At number 5, we have Macedon. That is right. Before we continue, I'm just going to be talking about how I'm going to format this a little bit. It's going to be me talking about the civ, talking about their abilities, and what makes them better than all the other civs. So Macedon at number 5. The reason I have them here is really twofold. Number one of the best early game domination civs. You get your unique encampment building, you get your Hypaspists, as I like to call them, and you get your unique cavalry Hetairoi, as well as lots of great general points. And not only that, you also don't suffer from war weariness, and when you capture a city with a wonder, all your units everywhere heal completely. That is right. This guy could be on like a sort of Arctic expedition in the ancient era, trying to find the sea turtles or whatever, save the sea turtles, whatever it is. He could be doing whatever, and he would get the complete heal bonus after you capture a city with a wonder halfway across the world. But the reason they're top 5, right? The reason they really are number 5 is because with their unique encampment ability, you are going to be getting science for every unit built. Now that science, I've done the math, a lot of people have done the math. If you just sit there spamming out units, not only will you have more units for domination, but it is more worth it than a campus and a library. That is right. If you just sit there spamming out their most advanced unit, you will be getting a lot more science. You know, you obviously do the math on your own, but you get 25% of the production cost as science immediately. So you do that, you boost ahead in the tech tree. The one problem I find with Macedon is that you're not going to have as much gold as you would like to, but that really is rectified by two things. Number one, you get a commercial hub, and number two, you are going to be conquering at least one, if not two, enemy civilizations early on. So after that, you're pretty much already guaranteed a victory, in my opinion. But you know, you can continue going, spam out, get a lot faster of a victory by getting more science and using those units to maybe finish off a domination victory if you want to. The fact that you can go for science and domination at the same time without sacrificing the other makes them top 5 in my opinion. And if anything, if the gold becomes a problem, you can always delete unneeded units. You know, you don't have to keep the units. You're really going to be producing units for the science at that point instead of like the actual military production. And if you're building them for military production, commercial hubs, and the fact that you're going to be taking a lot of enemy cities early on is going to more than rectify your negativity in gold, your high maintenance costs. But yeah, Macedon number 5. Let's go to number 4 right now, which is... we have Grand Columbia GC, the first New Frontier Pass civ that was absolutely busted when it came out. It was absolutely disgusting. I mean, my God, I couldn't eat lunch for a month. That's how absolutely revolting they were. They get extra movement speed in every single unit. That's not a joke. Everyone, settlers, builder, your grandmother who somehow got herself trapped in the game Jumanji style. It is that simple. They get so much movement speed. You couple that with their cavalry units. You couple that with the fact that they get a unique great general. Every era that gives them 5 combat strength extra, which stacks upon a regular great general, and that isn't even it. You get the unique Llanero unit. Yes, I finally learned that the 2 L's are not pronounced in Spanish. It's Llanero, not Llanero, but the Llanero unit, which gets extra combat strength from each adjacent Llanero. Couple that with the plus 10 combat strength from great generals and Commandante generals, and that isn't even it. You also get the Hacienda, the best unique tile improvement in my opinion, aside from maybe the Ziggurat from Gilgamesh, but you get gold, production, housing, a little bit of food as well, along with the tiles bonuses. It is absolutely insane. They have an S tier improvement, an S tier unique unit, an S tier Commandante General, and an S tier movement speed ability. You go ahead, you build some horsemen early on. You're gonna have 5 movement speed on those horsemen. Hey, the enemy's gonna build walls. That doesn't matter, even if you don't have a COD. You could go get a catapult, and while catapults are not that very good, you're gonna have 3 movement speed catapults, which turns into 4 after you get a great general, so you can move and attack with the catapults before anybody can retaliate. And that's what a lot of people really don't understand about Gran Colombia. You automatically have base 5 movement speed horsemen. Add that in with a great general, they're now 6 movement speed, and all your other units are going to get 4 movement speed. That level of mobility, literally twice as much mobility as everybody else, is so insane for conquering a map fast. You just beeline your next cavalry unit, you build the cavalry unit, maybe get a few bombards or trebuchets eventually, and then go ahead and blast down whoever stands in your path. And hey, I didn't even talk about the best part. The Commandante Generals, when you pop their unique ability and you get their bonus, each Commandante General is a different bonus, like maybe a free trader, maybe extra combat strength against cities, etc., etc. All Llaneros who are within 2 tiles of the Commandante General that is popped heal completely, and they get their movement back. And speaking of movement, talking about more mobility, I know I've been rambling on a little bit, but these are all incredible bonuses in my opinion. The Gran Colombian's other unique ability, when you promote, you usually end that unit's turn, right? Now for Gran Colombia, you promote, you're still going to have all your movement points left. It doesn't cost anything to promote. So a unit is about to die, you promote them, you can continue attacking immediately, which is so insane. So many amazing abilities, albeit they are all mostly, except for the Hacienda, they're all for domination, but they are so good at domination that they could just wipe the floor with everybody from the ancient era all the way down to the information era if it does take you that long. One of the best civs in the entire game. Let's move on to number 3. And let's continue at number 3. We have Germany, or the Holy Roman Emperor, quite honestly. Led by Frederick, Germany is one of the best production civs in the entire game. Now, their unique ability is a little lackluster. Combat strength against city-states and an extra military policy card. They're all right, okay? The military policy card is probably one of the worst policy cards, quite honestly. It's not as good as economic or wild card, but it's still something. The combat strength against city-state really is just, if you're ever going to use it, it's not going to be for a lot, maybe for like 1 city-state conquest, 2 max probably. A lot of the times you do want to keep the city-states, but where Germany really comes in is the U-boat, the best unique, I'm just kidding, don't crucify me, all right? U-boat, not that good either, okay? But the Hansa is so incredible, it makes up for it. You get adjacency from commercial hubs, you get massive adjacency bonuses from aqueducts and dams, they are cheaper to build, and you will easily, you plan out your cities just a little bit, you will be getting double-digit Hansas early on as Germany. You double that with the military policy card now. It's the military policy card that makes industrial zones twice as effective. You can easily, if you wanted to, have a base 20 production Hansa in most of your big cities, which is absolutely insane. That is without factoring in the workshop, the factory, and finally the Ruhr Valley. You get the Ruhr Valley as Germany, it's just a wrap at that point. You might as well be working at Subway, because it's just absolutely finished, completed. You get so much production that you could do whatever victory type you want. Gran Colombia and Macedon, they're mainly domination, with Macedon focusing a little bit on science, but with Germany, you get those Hansas, you can do whatever you want. Build a literal army in less than 10 turns. Go ahead, beeline science and get a spaceport and win that way. Go ahead and get a culture victory by building every single wonder in sight, because you now have the production to do so, even on Deity. And just all these bonuses combined just makes Germany just so versatile. They're not good in every victory type. They are great in every victory type with the Hansa. And I haven't even talked about their last unique ability, which is, I don't think they have a last one. Do they? No, it was the U-boat. They don't have a unique unit. But yeah, the Hansa is absolutely incredible. The last ability they have, though, actually, my bad, is that they can build 1 extra district more than the population allows. So instead of building 1 district for 3 population, you're going to be able to build an extra district on top of that. And I know I'm talking about +1 district. I know you can automatically build 1, but the 3 gives you, when you're 3 population, you get another, then 7 population, you get another, then 10 population, you get another. Usually you're only going to be able to build 4 districts at 10 population. population. With Germany, you're going to be able to build 5, which is really helpful considering the fact that you're going to want Hanzas and commercial hubs, which does kind of soak up a few just spots in your cities. You're going to have plenty of time to build campuses, encampments if you want, theater squares, all that good stuff. But yeah, that's why I have Germany at number 3. So much production, so insane. And now we're getting into the schmeat of the video, the creme de la crop, the piece de resistance, and some other French adjectives I probably forgot by now. But number 2, we have Babylon. Now, Babylon was one of the last civs released during the New Frontier Pass, and they are absolutely amazing. I mean, my God. They get 50% less science than usual, right? But when they get a Eureka, they automatically unlock the technology no matter where it is on the tech tree, no matter what prerequisites it has. So you can get musketmen before you even leave the ancient era. Just amazing. Before we talk more about that and strategies for that ability, let's run down their other abilities. Their unique unit isn't that good. It's weaker than a warrior, but it has a lot of combat strength against cavalry units. So it's sort of like an anti-Macedon, anti-Grand Columbia, anti-Scythia type of unit, which, I mean, it's not the best unique unit, quite honestly. It's not that good. The unique watermill, though, is so damn good. All tiles next to a river receive 1 extra food. You are going to be growing so fast as Babylon. It is absolutely insane. You don't even need to go to war to do that, but war really is where Babylon shines. A lot of people mistake Babylon for being a science civ. They are not, because by the time you get to the late game technologies, the negative 50% debuff you have to science really is going to affect you getting the later technologies, because you can't boost any of the future era technologies. And really, the great scientist that boosts all the information era technologies is a little too far ahead in the tech tree, far ahead in the game for you to really make use of before anybody else can. So as Babylon, you're really more suited towards a domination victory. If you pull this off correctly, you're going to be able to get crossbows in the ancient era, immediately go to war, take out an enemy civ, then you're going to get bombards in the classical era, yes, bombards, and then from there it's your choice. You get coursers, cuirassiers, pretty much what you have to do is just look at what tech you want, like the bombards, look what requirement you have, which is get 2 crossbows, and look at the crossbowman requirement, the crossbowman tech, which is get 3 archers. The archery tech is kill a unit with the slinger, so all you have to do, kill a unit with the slinger, get 3 archers, upgrade 2 of them to crossbows, and boom, just like that, you do have bombards. I do recommend building catapults. The bombard rush is my favorite as Babylon, but I do recommend building catapults. Or I build a couple catapults, and then so build an aqueduct for that, but after you get the catapults, go ahead and get the bombards boosted, and then use gold to upgrade those catapults into bombards, and then go to town. You can always use crossbowmen as well to go get an early advantage, but Babylon is just so good. They're going to be so far ahead, and that's not the only thing. One of the hidden things is that barbarians, unlike city-states, they spawn the most advanced unit that has been researched by a civilization. City-states build the most advanced unit researched by neighboring civilizations up to a certain extent. So if I'm Babylon and I get musketmen in the ancient era, for example, city-states that are far away from me aren't going to build the musketmen, but every single barbarian encampment is going to spawn musketmen. So if you want to screw over the AI, which really doesn't do well at preventing barbarians themselves, you go ahead, you get musketmen early on or some other advanced unit like that, and then the enemy barbarians are going to start spawning those units. You can absolutely wreak havoc without even doing anything, softening them up for your killing blow coming after you get planes in the medieval era, which, yes, is definitely a thing, but I've talked about Babylon enough. They are not number 1. We're going to be talking about the number 1 civ right now, which is... The number 1 civ we have is obviously Russia. Tsar Russia, not the no Russia, we're talking about Tsar Russia here, but Russia is the best civilization in the entire game, and it really isn't even close for multiple reasons. Number 1, I know I said I wasn't going to include secret societies, but when you get Void Singers as Russia, it's just game over at that point. It is literally cheating at that point. I'm telling you right now, if my son grows up and uses Russia Void Singers in multiplayer, he's getting disowned. It's just that simple. No disrespect whatsoever. but I am going to, it's just absolutely disgusting what Russia and Void Singers can do. We're talking about base Russia. I just wanted to throw that out there for any of you who want the Deity achievement. Russia, Void Singers, easy win. Number 1, Russia has the best unique building, unique district, one of the best at least, in the Lavra. It is a holy site that is built in half the time. That is already good enough considering it is so hard to found a religion early game on the higher difficulties. You really have to rush it. Rushing the Lavra as Russia makes it a lot easier. You're going to be getting it a lot faster. All your other cities can build it. But the other thing is the work ethic policy coupled with Dance of the Aurora with your Tundra start bias means all your holy sites are going to be getting 6 production, 6 adjacency bonus, which is going to translate into 6 production. That is not even it. You can go ahead and go research the technology, the theology that gives you temples, which gives you the scripture policy card, which doubles adjacency bonus for all your holy sites, which means if you're on average getting +6 faith holy sites, Lavras, because of your Dance of the Aurora Pantheon you just got, you are now going to be getting twice that, which is now going to be 12 production in every city that has a Lavra. Now, obviously, you can go more than that, but I think 6 is probably the average of every single Lavra you are going to have. But that isn't even it. You get a shrine, all Lavras are going to start making 1 great writer point. You get a temple, all holy sites are going to start making 1 great artist point. You get your worship building, you know, like a Gurdurwa or a mosque or a synagogue or like a church or something like that. You are going to be getting +1 great musician point. So you are literally going to be getting every single great writer, artist, musician if you rush this fast enough. So you are by far the best culture victory civ in the game. It used to be that you get the Lavra and you get all those bonuses at once, but they changed it. They nerfed them a little bit, which kind of makes sense, but you're still going to be able to win an easy turn 200, turn 220 culture victory as Russia, and that isn't even it. Blizzards in Russia do double the damage to invading enemy civs, so you go turn on disaster mode, and the thing is, they don't affect Russian districts, or Russian population, or Russian units. So you could go ahead, turn disaster mode to 4, you put on apocalypse mode or something, and you're going to be getting so many yields from the blizzards that aren't going to affect you at all. It's just absolutely insane. That's kind of a cheating opinion. It's a little bit of a, not an exploit, but it does make your job a lot easier. It's just Russia's so damn good. The unique cavalry unit, the Cossack, used to be good, but ever since they removed the battering ram working on cavalry units, it's not really that good anymore. I wouldn't recommend building it aside from maybe the arrow score, maybe as a defensive unit because it's still a cavalry unit and still very fast and mobile. But yeah, aside from that, Russia also gets 1 science and 1 culture when trading with enemy civs for every 3 techs or civics that they are ahead of. So if you're like 6 techs behind an enemy civ, sending a trade route will give you 2 science automatically, which is really, really good for catching up in science and culture. It's not as if you need it because you get the holy sites and then you get an industrial zone and then you get a theater square. You are going to be in the running for a science, culture, religious victory all at once. I might make a video later on playing as Russia maybe and trying to get all victory types before the enemy AI can even get one. We'll see. Might be an idea for a future. Let me know down below if you guys want to know about that. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the video. If you guys have enjoyed, obviously don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below exactly what civs I've left off. This list is obviously my opinion, and opinions do differ. I'd love to hear from you guys. Which civ do you think is the best, and which civ did I put on here do you think isn't as good as I think they are? But yeah, without further ado, I will see you all in the next video. Peace. Huge shout out to my members, Cash Christian, Ben Ownby, John Blair, Jackson Perez, Polaris Gaming, Jeff Utzler, Kim Cosmos, and a really special shout out to my oh my god subscribers, Robert and Overflow of Amenities.